What is your name?
My name is Darianny Bautista.
How old are you?
I am 18 years old.
And what are you doing here now?
At this very moment,
Yeah, at this very moment.
I was actually trying to finish 3 weeks worth of missing work that I have. I'm struggling
Why are you struggling?
because I am a procrastinator and the pandemic definitely didn't help my transition into college,
Hmm.
but I've gained a little bit of motivation, and so I've decided that I'm going to finish all of my work tonight.
Oh, so you're a student. What school do you go to?
I go to Bergen Community College. I am a first semester freshman. I'm I'm expected to graduate December 2023, political science major.
Where do you want to transfer to?
For a while I wanted to transfer to Rutgers, New Brunswick, but I think I want to aim higher now. I think I underestimated myself academically for a while, but now I think I have the potential to reach higher places like Stockton, Princeton, NYU, go farther, you know, pursue higher education. And so I think I'm going to apply to places like that, maybe even go out of state like Boston University.
Did you ever think about this possibility back in high school?
The possibility of,
Going to a very prestigious university.
I didn't think that I was academically good enough for it. And now that I am in college, from the beginning that I walked in here, I knew that I wanted to make change and that I wanted to have the opportunity to do everything that I wasn't able to do in high school, because in high school I wasn't allowed to have leadership positions. And so from the moment I walked in, I made connections and I got a part of student government. I became a justice for the Judiciary Board and I started working on projects. And now that I'm here and I've gotten to see the influence and the impact that I've been able to make with the student government as a justice, I think that I have exactly what it takes to be in a prestigious school. And I think that I've underestimated my academic capacity for a long time.
What do you do outside of school? Do you do any sports? You work? You.
I'm a New Jersey State pageant title holder, so I compete in pageants across the state of New Jersey. I recently competed for Miss New Jersey Teen USA 2021 this past August, and out of 97 contestants in the state, I placed as third runner up. And I'm recompeting this upcoming April 1st, 2022 for the title. Hopefully, I win, maybe. I'm also an advocate for sexual assault prevention and awareness across the state of New Jersey. And I've dedicated my life to community service and public work. I'm your overall, you know, working always on benefiting the community and trying to be as relatable as possible. And because I love politics and I love helping the community, I'm a political science major and I'm pursuing a career as a criminal defense lawyer and politician.
What made you become a sexual assault prevention activist?
As a young woman, I know all too well, firsthand, the consequences and effects of sexual assault, sexual harassment, sexual abuse, sexual violence. It's a part of my daily life. I can't walk down a block without being harassed, without being looked at a certain way. And it's been something that I've had to deal with since I was very, very young. I've coped and I've had to heal a lot of, sexual trauma from sexual assault that I had growing up. And I think it's a conversation that not a lot of people want to have. It's very controversial, but I quickly realized the uncomfortable conversations that we don't want to have. If we don't have them, then they will never be resolved.
So what do? We have a conversation, but then what actions do we take?
See, it starts off with a conversation, being able to at least be open enough to address that there's an issue. Once you address that there's an issue, you have to work together to try to prevent it. Start we have to be better as a community. Start brainstorming as to what can we do as a community, as individuals, to, really prevent sexual assault, spread awareness for sexual assault, how to educate younger children about sexual assault, what to do if you are in an uncomfortable situation, how to identify sexual assault, what to do in the situation that you are sexually assaulted or sexually harassed or sexually abused. These are things that we don't often talk about. As a woman, I've always been told, like, don't dress this way or don't go out at night. I feel like we're constantly telling people, don't do these things or you'll get sexually assaulted. When in reality, what we should be saying is, don't be a sexual assaulter. Don't be a predator. Don't do these things.
Do you think that there can be redemption for people who have sexually assaulted?
I think there's room for forgiveness for everybody in the world. I think we're all sinners and we all make mistakes. We're human at the end of the day. If someone is truly willing to change, then I do think there is redemption to an extent. But as long as you take accountability for your actions and you tend to the consequences, then yes, there should be.
What is your ethnicity, if I can ask?
I am Hispanic. I am descendant of Dominican immigrants. I was born here in the United States.
Different cultures respond to sexual assault differently. How do you think people would in Dominican American culture respond to it?
Personally, my family, they normalized it. And it's almost sad to see how they normalized it. My mom, when I opened up about my sexual assault with her, she said to me, well, that's normal. We all went through it. And she almost laughed at it. She kind of did laugh at it. And I realized, our culture, we tend to put those things away and hide them and not talk about them. We have to be the change of all that generational trauma, of all those issues. We have to be the change of it. Because at the end of the day, if we're not willing to change all those generational traumas and all those generational stigmas and stereotypes that have been passed on to us, then we just continue on the cycle. And in my family, I want to be that person. I am that person that changes all the stigmas and stereotypes and traumas that have continued on, especially with sexual assault. I'm not normalizing it anymore.
So you are a New Jersey State pageant competitor.
Yes, I am.
How do you plan to bring this to this agenda?
So, as a pageant title holder, I compete in the teen division currently. And I noticed that when you're a teenager, especially in pageantry, there are a lot of platforms that you choose to, be a part of, bring awareness to. But I definitely think that sexual assault isn't talked enough about. Especially as teenagers, we should be talking more about it because we are the age group that is affected most by it. And as a pageant title holder, I've had the opportunity to use this platform to voice my opinions and how we as a community can have a better, more active conversation on sexual assault, have those uncomfortable conversations. I want to implement, in my reigns, in my platform as a pageant title holder, initiating those conversations because people don't want to initiate them. Once you start the conversation, then that's when you can really start working within the communities. Something that I would really like to implement in the future, if I ever become a politician or anything like that, would be to have like sexual assault seminars or sexual assault education classes for prevention and awareness for children in elementary schools. How to properly teach kids age-appropriate ways on how to identify sexual assault, how to prevent it, how to spread awareness for it. And I get to use my platform as a pageant title holder to really voice these issues.
So if you win the Miss Teen New Jersey USA, what's the next thing? What's the next plan?
Well, if I win, I will die on stage. No, I'm joking. If I win, next step is to represent the state, New Jersey, my home state, at the nationwide pageant Miss Teen USA. And I'll use my platform to continue voicing sexual assault prevention and awareness, and hopefully use that platform and that privilege to, really start that conversation off here in New Jersey, and hopefully voice it on a nationwide level. It's very it really hits close to home, and also being able to represent New Jersey and bringing in that conversation while representing New Jersey is, I think, very almost a little emotional for me. So I'm excited for that, and whatever God wants for me, I accept, and I'll be where I'm meant to be. Hopefully, God willing, I win.
How long do you plan on competing in pageants?
For as long as I'm allowed to, until I'm like 60.
All right, the last two questions. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
10 years, I'll be 28.
Mm-hmm.
10 years, I see myself as a criminal defense lawyer. I see myself having aged out of pageantry, probably retired from pageants, or at least the pageants that, the pageant system that I want to be in currently. I see myself continuing my work within cosmetology. I'm a licensed cosmetologist, and I'm pursuing my craft as a nail technician. So I see myself maybe having a couple nail salons, but definitely focusing more on my work as a criminal defense lawyer, helping within the community, continuing my public service work, and maybe all this advocacy and all this work for sexual assault prevention and awareness, you never know where it may lead me, where it might take me. Maybe I'll be the mayor one day, or maybe I'll be like a congresswoman or something.
And last question, what advice would you give to little girls in New Jersey?
I would tell little girls in New Jersey to take up space, to be leaders. When you're growing up, all they talk to you is about being pretty and superficial. You need to be a leader. Be strong. Take up space in society. Don't be afraid to go into male-dominated areas where they don't expect women to be in, areas where they tell you, well, you're not enough to be there. My whole life I've been told I'm not enough. I'm too girly, or I'm too this. Being a woman is not a weakness. Being feminine is not a weakness. Take up space in society so that you can be the role model that you didn't have growing up, so that other young women have somebody to look up to. We have yet to have a female president, but Hillary Clinton, I know damn well I looked up to her while she was running for president, and we have the very first female vice president, a woman of color. These are women that are pioneers. They teach women like us. They are a symbol that no matter what, no dream is too far. The sky is the limit.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.